So now I am about to analyze the third scene, well no, actually the third scene as regards the evening wear. With regards to the evening wear. So I'm going to the same scene, so he's dressed at that same time, and thingy Boss Tweed is going to talk with William the Butcher, who just confessed to having killed Mang Jin in the kitchen. Also his assistant. His assistant is wearing a more evening appropriate waistcoat, I would say. It is possible that in the early 1860s it was still the fashion to not wear actually white or even creamed waistcoat, but a sort of, I'm not sure what color it is. It perceives to be some sort of cream and or grey silk. And the trousers perceived to match the dress code. Now I'm talking about Boss Tweed's assistant, not Boss Tweed himself. And the little man who looks like a rat. I think it is the same. No, I'm not sure about that. I mean, it might be the same actor who plays Lestrade in the 2009 Guy Ritchie version of Sherlock Holmes. They have pocket watches, the both of them. Now that was very much the fashion, even for the evening wear. It was actually just in vogue. It had recently, I think it started, where the avant-garde sellers would start wearing a pocket chain, or some people call it a watch guard, to their waistcoats in the evening too. In the 1840s, that was high fashion. Then it became old-fashioned. By the 1860s, 50s and 60s, it was the norm. So this is accurate. Even the gold ones for the evening, which a lot of manuals, especially British ones, said they were inappropriate for the evening, but yet they remained so popular. That's why that they kept precising not to wear them in the evening, for apparently it was a very often made faux pas. So yes, the tailcoat has Boss Tweed's tailcoat has 3 buttons upon each side. His collar is high. Shawl collars upon their waistcoats, both Boss Tweed and his assistant. William the Butcher, in that scene, is not wearing evening wear, but he is very famous red frock coat that people try to copy. I mean, they really love that frock coat upon Instagram and all. So yes, actually Boss Tweed, when standing straight, his waistcoat does extend quite, perhaps even 2 inches below his tailcoat. I do not know if that was a faux pas, but I do fancy it was very often the case. Unlike in the later, I would say, 1880s at least onwards, whereas people with such amount of money as Boss Tweed and from a certain class would, by 90% off chances at least, not make that mistake. But perhaps in the 1860s it was not even considered a mistake, and or some people might have considered it a mistake and some might have not. The more one goes back in the past, the less global were the rules, although the less humans there were, if that makes sense, but because people were less in touch, the more one goes back, the less means are there, technological means, to communicate with people from a distance, and thus the further one goes back, the more it changed It changed. What is the word? It changed according to regional places, and the more one goes back, it goes from regional to really almost areas to region within a country, and then to areas within a country, and almost. And then if one goes to the Middle Ages, that was the reason for which, when fashion began in the high Middle Ages in the 13th century, it was really almost one fashion for each individual, if that makes sense. At least for each upper class, wealthy individual, fashion really began in Western Europe, I fancy Spain, with royalty, and then to move on to nobility, and step by step it went down the ladder. But there's a whole other subject. So all that to say that Boss really could have made it on purpose to have that waistcoat extend rather a lot. Now I'm going to move on to the last time, the third and last time the evening wear is present. Actually, it will be interesting to see what Boss Tweed wears during the first evening wear scene, where in the Chinese pagoda. But I do not even remember whether he wears evening wear or not.
To defeat my enemy, I want you all to meet the sun. The heart! The heart! This boy has no heart! Kill him! By the butcher! Museum of Wonders. God's only man, spared by the butcher. Worthy of Barnum's Museum of Death at my hands. No, he'll walk amongst you marked with shame. A freak, worthy of... He ain't the...
No, finally called Saturday. Boss Tweed and his assistant are not failed to wear evening wear during that scene. So I'm now moving on to the scene where, after the sort of pre-riots, they talk. It is 1 hour 46 into the movie. It is very, I think it is at the Scumhorns mention, and Boss Tweed is invited, and there are many individuals wearing evening wear, so it is quite interesting to see what they did. And already I see quite a couple of failures for to be honest, I examined enough evening wear as it is, and I will do lastly no, by the by, it is a cravat that Boss Tweed has for evening wear. It is a large knotted cravat that passes behind the neck at least once, and or it is a stock. But no, I suppose it is a genuine cravat. I mean, it would be a very good imitation. But anyhow, enough with all these details. Only a broad examination of Bill the Butcher most famous outfit, i.e. the red frock-coated one, which first appears. I have to do that because people love it, and that was how I knew of the movie Gangs of New York, due to Subtle Store having made a reproduction and said to try to copy Gangs of New York, so I typed it in. That was how I first found out about it, once I was 4 and 10, or even 3 and 10. So now, he first appears dressed like so, quite well into the movie. In fact, after the fight, once they go for a walk, he's dressed exactly the same, except he wears that frock coat. And just before that, I want to examine his butchering outfit.